It's 2025. ChatGPT isn't just a chatbot anymore. It's your personal assistant, researcher, designer, you name it. But only if you know how to use it properly. Hi, my name is Martin. I'm an AI security expert, and in this video I will show you how to actually use ChatGPT in 2025 to get real results, not just basic answers. Let's talk a little bit about what's new in ChatGPT in 2025. First of all, they have released version 5 of ChatGPT, as you can see this here. And with version 5, there comes a lot of new functionality. So first of all, natural reasoning, but also increased memory capabilities and multimodal features. So if you click here on ChatGPT 5, the default is auto. So basically it decides how long to think when you give it a task. Or if you want quick answers, you can choose instant. Or if you want to have really thorough thought process, you use the thinking option. You can still use legacy models, but they're always cutting it, so you won't find version 3 or something like this. But in this case, you find version 4.0 is still available. Now, let's take a look at some of the new features. So if you come over here and if you go into your settings, you basically see that there is two options for memory. And one is the so-called reference saved memories, and that's basically that ChatGPT can save and use memories when responding. It's not new, that was already the case with previous versions. It's a super helpful feature, like you can type in and say like, hey, remember I'm a software developer, remember I'm a dentist, and then it will use that context in its responses, right? But you also have like the reference chat history. So basically when you were chatting about a specific topic before, previous conversations, it will take this into account with its answers as well. Now this is super helpful because back in the days you lost context, right? Like you closed the browser window and you didn't work on something for a week or something like this, and then there was no memory feature, so you had to explain it all over again. So that's one thing. And then what I also want to show you here real quick is you have the so-called connectors, right? And this is extremely helpful. From a security perspective, it has also security vulnerabilities, obviously. But basically you can hook up Gmail, right? Like, or you can hook up Google Calendar or Google Drive. And then you can basically say like, hey, summarize my emails, or like look at the calendar for next week, right? Like what kind of meetings do I have scheduled and things like this. And then they keep adding here to the apps, right? Like you can integrate like a lot of them into it, like booking.com if you want to use ChatGPT to make a hotel booking or something like this. Like you can hook this all up and together and things like this. And then you have many more connectors. Like for example, if you're a developer, you can connect with GitHub, or you know, you want to, yeah, like say you are on Microsoft, right? Like you have like the Microsoft SharePoint and things like this. You can hook up Slack, Teams, but you can also hook up your MCP servers, right? Like, and those are like dedicated services. Like those are like off the shelf from ChatGPT or from OpenAI, but you also have the possibility to include your own personalized one for your business, for example, right? What I also want to show you real quick is custom GPTs. What many people don't know is basically you can create like your own bot, right? Like you can create your own bot, and there's a lot of people who have written bots already, like for very specific tasks. Like say like you're a dentist and you want like a dentist assistant bot who knows everything about dentistry, or you are in cybersecurity and you want XYZ and you want a specialized bot for that, right? And now writing good prompts is always the key to success with these large language models, and it can get quite difficult, right? Like, because you need to give it a persona, you need to give it detailed instructions, you need to give it references and all these kind of things. So I have created a bot which you can use for free, which I will share in description below, and basically it's called SystemBot. And then all you do in the SystemBot, for example, you type in a bot which is an expert in dentistry, say, right? Like, let's use this example. and then you just hit enter. So you just give it one sentence, and then it's basically writing you the system prompt for this specific bot. And regardless what your topic is, right, like whether you're a web designer or whether you are a doctor, whether you're in medical, like whatever it is, so you just take this basically, right, and then you copy it out. So it's doing all the legwork for you. And then you come over here, and then you simply say you want to create a new bot. And then in the bot, you give it a name, you call it Martin, description Martin, and then in the instruction, you just paste that in. And that's basically, I can give it a picture up here, like an image for your specific bot. And then you can say you want to make this public, or you don't want to make this public. You may want to have this as a private one, or your friends and things like this. And then you have a specific bot which is just optimized for that specific task. Super helpful, and I highly recommend to check it out. Let's talk a little bit about everyday use cases, productivity, personal life, and things like that. So as you have seen already, I have hooked up my Google Calendar to ChatGPT, and I can now say, for example, summarize my meetings for today, right? And then basically what it's doing now in the background, it's actually connecting to Google Workspace, and it's then getting me information around this. And here you can always, like, if you click the thinking, you can actually see what it's doing, and it is now looking for my events basically. And then here is basically one of the events I have, and which I actually declined. And I could open this in the Google Calendar now and things like this. And now I can, for example, say, hey, run this task every morning at 8 a.m. and notify me. Something like this, right? So because ChatGPT also has like this feature now that it's basically, you can give it a task, and then it can also put this into an action plan whereby it will repeatedly do this like at a specific hour. You're asking it to create like a diet for you, or like an exercise routine or something like this, and then you will get an email or a notification in the app. So now it's asking me if I want to allow this. Yes, I want to allow this. This is fine. So ChatGPT can send me the notifications, and I get the daily meeting summary now at 8 a.m. So this is extremely helpful as well. Sky is the limit, really, what you can do with it, right? Like, you can really build your personal assistant. It's not just about getting text from a chat query anymore. It's really like interacting with the world and interacting with other tools, and increase productivity and ease processes for you, that it makes your life easier. Let's talk a little bit about professional use cases and how you can use ChatGPT 5 in 2025. So a few months ago, ChatGPT released something called Codex, which is a coding assistant, basically, which enables you, even if you have no development experience, for example, to create applications, websites, apps, and what have you. And it's included in the Plus plan of OpenAI, of ChatGPT. So you simply click on Codex, and then that brings you over to the coding assistant. And as it is with coding, I mean, those of you who are not familiar with it, you typically use a repository. GitHub is a famous one. Then you connect your GitHub repository, and then you just start interacting with natural language here. So you just go in, and I have already pre-done this, and I don't want to waste your time here, but basically what I've done is I have just, like, this is a dummy repo of mine basically, and what I said, like, hey, I said hi, and then create a basic HTML landing page. And then you can always see what, like, all these tasks it was completing, right? Like, so you can click here. So it was creating that specific landing page, right? And then I said, like, well, now display it for me. And then you see always like what kind of stuff it's performing. Yeah, this is just one of the use cases, right? Like that you can actually start coding and start creating applications without much coding experience. And the other one I want to quickly point out is Atlas, and Atlas is like the new browser. It's basically a ChatGPT browser, which you can download for macOS. I don't think it's available right now for Windows yet. But you download it, and it's basically a browser. It's like a Chrome browser or like a Firefox browser, but it's driven by ChatGPT. And it's super cool because you can interact with the website or the application in real time. And that also means, like, for example, you can say, hey, ChatGPT, browse Amazon, browse the website. I'm on Amazon. I don't find the product I want. Do this for me. And it can actually go around and do the research for you. You see this here in the demo they put. You can go to a airline website and have it book a flight ticket for you and things like this. So this is also something which is far beyond where ChatGPT was like 2 years ago, where it was just like I ask a question, I get a response. No, it's all about interactivity now these days. And so really, really powerful. We are just scratching the surface. In 2026, ChatGPT will become the new operating system for ideas. Those who learn to use it now will increase their productivity 10 times. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment with your favorite ChatGPT feature. I will reply to every comment.